The following program may contain subject matter and language suitable for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Breaking news. I'm Norm Burketta.
Breaking news. I'm Jeff LaFave.
Happening now. It's the Meltdown, Season 2. I guess you get our point.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Everything's breaking news. Hey, Jeff, and today's episode is all about breaking news and weather events, because everything's an event now, right? There's no such thing as just rain or
nothing's
snow.
routine. The weather alerts, everything is in red. We're going to get 5 centimeters of snow, red alert. You know what I mean? News is news. It's news. It's new. So it's all new. Something
right.
new about it. It's how fresh it is. I have a diploma in radio broadcasting. I remember a professor speaking to us when we were taking a radio broadcast or a news broadcasting course, and he said, how fresh is your story? You know what I mean? And that his point was that news gets old in a hurry. In other words, it's all news. It's all breaking news. So breaking news is basically redundant,
Yeah. And what about then you mentioned weather events as well. That
Yeah.
everything is an event. We've got some interesting statistics on that, but is it all meant to? Is it all fear mongering? Is it all meant to scare people, or is it just meant to be? We need to be more important. We need to capture the audience. We need to make everything a big deal.
Well, I think it's show business.
Breaking news. Some Meltdown fun facts.
All right.
So here are 6 facts that are technically true,
Okay.
but misleading. And this kind of leads into the whole, making something sound more than it really is, because you want to entertain, you want to capture people. So the first one is, if you commit a horrible crime, the government will give you free food and accommodation, sometimes for the rest of your life. Hey, you know what? It sounds good that way.
Yeah. You just can never leave. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, they don't say that, but I mean, you just gotta, one crime, really? That's pretty cool. I guess it's gotta be pretty.
Yeah, I guess from that point of view, it makes a lot of sense.
Here's fact number 2. Vatican City technically has a pope density of about 2 popes per square kilometer.
I thought there's only ever one pope at a time.
Yes, but per square kilometer.
Oh, I see what you're.
2 square
Well,
kilometers,
that makes sense. As somebody who was raised as a Catholic, I should have realized that the pope density in Vatican City is quite high.
That's right. I think we should do an entire show on pope density.
I think we should. Yes. How many popes are there? Can you spin around? Can you touch 2 or 3 popes just by spinning around in Vatican City?
If you get on one of those
revolving things.
Yeah. All right, fact number 3. If a human baby is born underwater, it can live its entire lifetime submerged without ever surfacing for air.
Wow.
Now, that's true if the entire lifetime of the baby is like 2 minutes.
Or you're adopted by dolphins.
Well, yeah, but even so, I mean,
dolphins do come out of the water, though, so they're not just
listen,
underwater.
you know what they say, right? A guy's got to breathe.
That's right.
All right, next fact. On average, a person has approximately 1 fallopian tube. Now,
Approximately 1.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you consider the... I know, a good comedian is not supposed to have to explain his jokes, but these are facts. So.
Oh, my fallopian tubes right now are just...
You've got 2? Because on average, you're only supposed to have 1.
Yeah, I've got 2. One started growing like a year ago.
Oh, wow.
I must be going through puberty again.
You've been drinking a lot of water.
Yes.
All right, our next fact. Smallpox was eradicated within a year of the release of the original Sony Walkman.
Sony Walkman. So many uses.
Seriously though, this one is I find it funny but sad because it's actually the way it's worded is very true, but it draws an invisible connection that there isn't one, and I hope what these things that we're reading is they're for fun, of course, but think about it. The next time you hear a headline, the next time you see something, question it. Ask yourself, is there really a connection with that? If it sounds a little bit weird, it probably is. And our last fun fact for today, every single person who drank water in the 1800s died. Uh-oh. Well, it's true. Now, we're going to shift to weather events. Yeah. What I did was I found a list from the National Weather Service, that listed reported events from the 1950s till now. Mm-hmm. And here's what I found really interesting, okay? We're going to start off with what was reported, the major events reported. So Hurricane Baker was reported in 1950. Mm-hmm. Hurricane Florence in 1953. Hopefully you'll see where I'm going with this. Okay. Hurricane Flossie in 1956.
My grandmother's name was Flossie.
So that was her hurricane. Yeah. Hurricane Camille in 1969. Let's jump to 75. Hurricane Eloise. Hurricane Frederick in 1979. Hurricane Elena in 1985, as well as Hurricane Juan in 1985. In 1995, we had two hurricanes, Erin and Opal. Mm-hmm. I'm coming to it. Yeah. Let's jump to 2005. Okay. Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Dennis, Hurricane Cindy, and Tropical Storm Arlene.
All right.
Okay, now let's jump 3 years. To 2008, we had the Red Oak tornado, Hurricane Ike, Hurricane Gustav, Tropical Storm Faye, heavy rainfall event, South Alabama tornado event, damaging winds, Super Tuesday tornado outbreak, and rare snowstorm. In 2018, which is so far there's only been two things. This is the National Weather Service, so this is not Canadian, just FYI. Yeah. We had the second wintry weather event of the 2017-2018 winter and abnormally warm February. Now, listen, I'm just saying, to me, things like heavy rainfall, snow, abnormally warm, I mean, it depends what side of the fence you're on.
Yeah.
Whether you say, it's a big deal because, global warming has changed everything and it's made everything. But I don't know. I mean, if it's a little warmer than normal, is it an event?
Of course, it's not an event.
It's still the way in which they report it as an event, like an oh my god thing.
Yeah.
Breaking news: we now have some stupidness. So here's some actual printed news headlines. Okay.
Yeah.
No, and all this is fun, but what it does go to show is you'll see.
Yeah.
Here we go. First one. Best man left bleeding after being hit in head by flying dildo, and wait until you hear where it came from.
Sounds like the best man was there for the wedding night, you know what I mean?
Maybe.
That's taking your task as best man a little too far, I guess.
Just a little too far. All right, number 2. Woman in sumo wrestler suit assaulted her ex-girlfriend in gay pub after she waved at man dressed as Snickers bar.
So this was Halloween, right?
I don't know.
Maybe there's a neighborhood where people dress up as sumo wrestlers.
You know what I noticed about you? I noticed that whenever I read something so bizarre, right? Like just fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
You always come up, maybe it was this. Like you're very diplomatic. Maybe there was a
I try to come up with an explanation that I have to figure out human behavior as I clear my throat once again.
Okay, so here we're a recurring theme. I was bashed with a dildo by man in leather mask, and he killed my dog.
So there you go.
Yeah, it wasn't
just the dildo over the head.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's bad enough. But then he kills your dog? Like, for God's sake.
There's a lot of dildos in the news lately. They have so many uses.
They really do. Okay.
Not just for anymore.
Not just for breakfast anymore.
Just for breakfast. Yeah,
okay.
That's what people are telling me.
Here's the next one. Man gets shock of his life when he buys 2 poodles for $150 only to be told by a vet that they are actually giant rodents pumped up with steroids to look like dogs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, first of all, that headline is too fucking long.
It's right.
That's like the whole story. Isn't a headline supposed to be something quick that grabs your attention?
Man bites dog, or
all
dog bites man.
All of these so far have been a bit too long. Here's another one. This one is you tried and come up with your diplomatic explanation for this one. Son of Westboro Baptist church leader attacked on live TV by naked 500-pound man who burst out of bathroom, sat on him and shouted, "Who's your daddy now?"
Well, that's good. Get back at those homophobic Westboro people because they are evil. Not the good people of Westboro here in Ottawa. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah, this is completely different. Okay,
attack those homophobes.
Here,
seriously.
these next bunch are actually shorter. Here's one. Drunken student is locked up and fined for calling police horse gay.
Oh.
Okay. Here's another one. This was this one was written incorrectly. There's two words, even though it's going to sound like one. Massive blow jobs for Bell Mullet. Now, I don't know who this Bell Mullet guy is, but I want to know where he lives. And if there's overflow.
Is that a full-time job? Just starting off part-time. But if people get tired of those dildos for breakfast,
there's always the massive blowjobs to turn to.
So many options out there in a free-thinking society.
Now this one is weird. I don't know why the word is there, but it is. It says girls' schools still offering something special in quotes -head. Now, I think that's because that's the head of the school, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
They quoted, but people.
I'm trying to come up with a dignified explanation for that one. But
it probably belongs with the massive blowjobs. Here's another one. Mississippi's literacy program shows improvement, but if you read the word you'll see it says Mississippi's. Mississippi's literacy program shows improvement. Okay, we don't need to
come on, it's MISSISSIPPI. I learned that as a kid.
Here's another one, a sensational headline. Anna Nicole Smith's boobs explode.
Uh-oh. Electric boobs.
or gas.
Or gas.
Here's a great headline that you'll one-armed man applauds the kindness of strangers.
Oh, that's sad. Poor guy.
Yeah.
Maybe he slapped his knee.
Okay. Here's one. Psychics predict world didn't end yesterday. Our last actual printed news headline.
Okay.
Cops say a man ate stolen ice cream sandwich he kept in pants.
Is that an ice cream sandwich in your pants, or is it melting? Is that a dildo for breakfast, or are you melting? Because this guy's giving free jobs over here.
Okay, Jeff, calm down.
It's getting me worked up.
Here's a little something, tiny little essay and I call it, whether it matters or not. Okay, and I think that makes perfect sense. Okay, so this is written from someone's point of view, and it's really interesting, and I think it really depicts what we feel about all of this breaking news and weather event stuff. Starting late last weekend, the Northeast began bracing for a serious winter storm, Juno, thusly named by the Weather Channel after the fierce, vindictive Greek goddess. Was being touted as a top 5 storm, dangerous and life-threatening, historic, and my personal favorite from the National Weather Service, paralyzing, crippling, epic, memorable. Okay?
Yeah.
My problem isn't with the fact that some areas, such as New York City and Western Connecticut, receive less than half the expected snowfall. Modeling storm tracks accurately is incredibly complex. Weather is the definition of unpredictable. We all know that. But do we really need all the hype? There's nothing remarkable about snow in the Northeast. It happens every year, often with notable accumulations. This dramatic interpretation of normal weather phenomenon has become standard procedure in the U.S. media, not just in the winter, but all year round. For the Weather Channels, CNN, and local news stations, every tropical depression is a historic hurricane to be, every nor'easter portends a blizzard, and every high tide heralds a tsunami. As a result of hyperbolic pre-storm coverage this week in an unprecedented move, New York City shut down its subways. Office and schools were closed. Families stockpiled a week's worth of bread, milk, and whiskey. Even in Boston, which did indeed get 30 inches of snow, the hysteria wasn't helpful. The city and its surroundings handled it admirably. The infrastructure is well in place because this happens every single winter, yet my normally reasonable friends watching the weather on TV were frantic. There are worse things than being over-prepared, but yellow weather journalism has consequences. The National Weather Service is rapidly losing credibility with the public, who may eventually cease to heed its warnings when it matters, which is worrisome. But for me, the real problem is that when our so-called newscasters describe every storm as a natural disaster, it numbs us to actual weather-related tragedies. Does it seem right that the winter storm Juno, death toll so far 2, gets more coverage than the May 2014 mudslide in Afghanistan that buried an entire village, killing thousands? The Weather Channel wasn't alone in its dire predictions of Juno's wrath. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or the NOAA, also issued serious warnings, but they were significantly more measured. I don't know. I think we've said all we've had to say about this topic. It's ridiculous. Everything is over-sensationalized. Thank goodness we're not like that. So until next episode, we'll see you.
All right. Bye.
Breaking news! Show's over!